Alternative Facts Chicago.
Chicago's #1 podcast.
Chicago. The city of Chicago. Alternative Facts Chicago.
Chicago's #1 podcast.
Audio file production.
The city of Chicago.
This is episode 84 of Alternative Facts Chicago. Great day. It's going to be a great episode. This is B.Hun on the line.
And Cait.
And this episode of Alternative Facts Chicago is brought to you by Showtime in the critically acclaimed series, The Chi. The heart and soul of Chicago's South Side lies in its community. But when your world is a daily struggle just to get by, can you rise up and stand tall to realize a better tomorrow? Watch as Ronnie, Brandon, Emmett, and Kevin confront the tough choices that will shape their futures in The Chi. It's a show created and executive produced by Emmy winner Lena Waithe and Academy Award winner Common. You can catch the season premiere of The Chi on Sunday, April 7th at 10 p.m. only on Showtime. And I don't know about you, but I cannot wait.
I'm excited. I've been trying to get caught up on season 1, so I'm ready for season 2. I can't wait for it to start. It's a very interesting series.
It's pretty dope too. Like obviously, it's loosely related. Like some of the show can be obviously made for TV, but it still depicts a lot of real aspects of what you might see on the South Side of Chicago. So I think season 1 was great. They did an amazing job, and I'm hoping that season 2 is just as good. I'll definitely be tuned in. I've been rewatching some of season 1 as well. So make sure you do so you're ready for season 2. I think this is going to be another fire season.
Yep, me too. How you doing
Absolutely.
today?
I'm good. Busy. This week has been nuts. Can't wait for the weekend, but always excited to do another episode. We're at 84 now. Isn't that crazy?
Right, 84. Jeez, it's a lot.
Man. Speaking of, did you get fooled by any April Fool's jokes?
I didn't. Nobody April Fools me, but I April Fools my team.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I did like little juice cups for them, like punch, but it was Jell-O. So they stuck a straw in it, but it was Jell-O. Not Jell-O shots. That's what I wanted to do, but it was a Monday.
Right.
But yeah, no, I don't do April Fools. Like I can't go crazy. Like I work in like a corporate environment, but I got them a little bit. That's what I could do.
It's still April Fool's. You're never too corporate to get fooled by April Fool's jokes. So
yeah,
don't be fooled.
Just can't take it overboard. There was another group in our co-working space that gave their team dog cookies like in cupcake wrappers with frosting on it. That was pretty funny.
Wow. That's
but
brutal.
I would be
That's
really
kinda
mad if I ate a dog cookie. I'm not
Right.
gonna lie. So I
Tell
couldn't
them
do
to
that to
grow
somebody
up.
else.
That's just mean.
Did you get fooled on April Fool's Day? Were you
Absolutely
April Fool?
not. Absolutely not. I feel like I was to the point to where I told my entire team at work, don't try any jokes, don't think about it. I'm not going to fall for anything. So I think I was pretty good. I saw a couple silly things on social media that are like blatantly obvious. Like my one friend who's a huge, my boy Travis, is a huge Drake and LeBron James fan. Of course, he makes a post saying how much they suck and he hates them. I'm like, bro, you gotta come up with something better than that. Like that was blatant that it was an April Fool's joke. Borderline wasn't even funny because it was that obvious.
Oh, Travis. Yeah, I mean, social media is like the place to post lame April Fool's Day statuses. We saw a lot of them, but I don't know.
Facts.
It's always I'm pregnant. I mean, okay.
Which we're going to talk about quick hits. A pregnant joke that went wrong. So
right.
We'll definitely talk about that later. Let's
yeah,
plug
absolutely.
our social media.
Yeah, join in the conversation on Facebook. Follow us at Alternative Facts Chicago. Same handle for Instagram. And then you can follow us on Twitter at AFactChicago. And then, of course, find me on Instagram, Cait, C-A-I-T, No Jenner. And on Twitter as Cait Hassett.
Yep, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at B.Hun 1984. Once again, that's BHUN 1984. I've seen some new follows the last week, so I thank you. We're always looking for more sponsorship ideas at AlternativeFactChicago at gmail.com. Obviously, thanks to Showtime and The Shy for that as well. I have seen some new reviews, both positive and negative, on our iTunes at Alternative Fact Chicago, so make sure you check that out. Please leave a review if you have not yet. We're on Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud, and Podbean at Alternative Fact Chicago. So we appreciate all the support. We thank you all for listening, and this is going to be a good episode. Not excited to talk about this first topic, but obviously I feel like we have to do it.
Yeah, so obviously one of the biggest things taking over news this past week, Nipsey Hussle, Grammy-nominated rapper, entrepreneur. I mean, just all around amazing advocate for Los Angeles, was fatally shot outside his clothing store in Hyde Park neighborhood outside of LA this past week. The whole world is just freaking out and so sad. Obviously, he's collaborated with a ton of artists, Snoop Dogg, YG. And if you don't know anything about Nipsey Hussle, he's a really strong advocate for the South Los Angeles community where he was raised. His story is like some others where he dropped out of high school, became involved in street life, and then tried to make it as a music career, even became a gang member. But once he made it big, he really decided to pay tribute to his roots. He's an entrepreneur, social activist, works with the community, was actually working with legislation out there to try to diminish gang violence. So it really took the whole world by storm. He's was 33,
Yep.
newly engaged, had a young son. So it's just been a really, really sad week for the music industry and just the whole hip hop community as a whole.
Absolutely. And I feel like obviously I was very young during the days of, Tupac and Biggie's death. So this may not necessarily have been on that same impact, but I feel like the ramifications and just the way social media has been down and out about it, it's very similar to when Tupac died. Obviously, him being, from California, from Los Angeles, it just seemed eerily similar with the simple fact that Nipsey Hussle was, honestly at the height of his career. His debut, though, mainstream album was nominated for a Grammy. I mean, he was doing so much for the community. Obviously, he had a home clothing store. Like, he had that old section of stores there that he opened up. He was doing so much for the city. He was even expected to meet with the Los Angeles Police Department just this week to discuss even more ways to help, diminish crime and violence. So he was planning to do that. Then obviously was murdered. So the irony there is just crazy. It took me back. Like when I saw the headline that he was shot in the head, I was like, oh my God, this is not going to be good. So it really took me back. It almost ruined the rest of my day. I was watching the NCAA tournament. Michigan State had won, and then I saw that news, and I was like, man, it completely changed my mood. So just the love that he's received over social media from not just fans and family and fans, even obviously from other music artists. Like music artists absolutely loved him. Just the way he moved, he seemed like he was very helpful to others in his career. Like he always would lend a helping hand. That's the feedback that I've got from everyone. He just seemed like a genuine good dude, and I didn't even know him, and I still feel like I almost lost a brother. So just sad. And the reason of why it happened, I think the guy's name is Eric Holder. Bro, I don't know. He's like the clown of life for this. And the reason of why it happened, which we can talk about here in a minute of exactly why specifically it happened, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It just goes to show, and we need to have a discussion on, should artists go back to their hometowns when they make it big? Because as we know, you always typically get taken out by haters in your own city. And we've seen it time and time again. It's taken out another person who was doing good for his own city. So real unfortunate situation.
Yeah, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories that are circling around this whole situation right now. Obviously, Nipsey Hussle was in the making of a documentary about Dr. Sebi,
Yep.
who, if you're not familiar with him, he's a holistic healer that claimed to have developed a miraculous herbal cure for pathologies that are including AIDS specifically, but also arthritis, asthma, cancer, and diabetes. So Nipsey Hussle was in the making of a documentary with that.
Yep.
And Dr. Sebi was also the doctor of some famous people like Lisa Left Eye Lopez and Michael Jackson. Those people are reported to have been clients. So there's a lot of conspiracy behind that and how Dr. Sebi specifically passed away that leads to him being taken out by like big pharma companies. So people are thinking that, Nipsey Hussle exposing that had to do with this happening. Kind of exciting news that came out of it is Nick Cannon is going to continue the documentary and the efforts towards like blowing that open. So at least like Nipsey Hussle's legacy will live on in that way. And we're excited to see that happen because someone's trying to hide the truth behind it. And Nipsey Hussle even like alludes to Dr. Sebi in raps, like in his 2008 Victory Lap album. He talks about they killed Dr. Sebi because he was teaching health. So it's just really interesting, the conspiracy theories leading up to it, that being the biggest one. And just a few days ago, he tweeted that it's a blessing that he has great enemies. So it's just ironic, I guess is the word, that it happened at this time the way it did when he was like on the peak of his career and like making a difference in the world.
Right. Which obviously they have these conspiracy theories, but I feel like we're in the age of everyone thinks everything is a conspiracy theory. We got to be real here. This was just senseless violence. I really don't think the government would take out a guy who's bringing out a documentary about information that has been public for many, many years. I feel like if there was reason to stop the videos, if you go on YouTube, you can research this stuff. There's many videos and documentaries about it already. How come the government has not taken down any of these YouTube videos now? Like, I have no qualms to think that they would actually try to take out Nipsey Hussle over conspiracy theory about a documentary about something that's public knowledge. I don't see the government necessarily being involved in something like that. So I think people are taking this way too far. This Eric guy or whatnot. I mean, simply it sounded like from what I read was that he went into Nipsey Hussle's store, and obviously Nipsey known that he was a known informant or a snitch to the cops, because obviously they're both Crips in the past. He's been in trouble in the past. So I guess rumor through LA is that he's a known snitch. So Nipsey Hussle knew that, didn't want to be around him, and asked him to leave his store. The problem being where Nipsey may have went wrong, he may have said it in like a tone that might have been disrespectful. Obviously, we don't know specifically how he said it, but he may have said it in a tone that was like, get the snitch out of here. I don't want you in my store. This crazy guy who I guess has a lot of mental issues, he could have snapped. Obviously, he went, got a gun, came back, shot him. And it seemed a little weird, like, which I actually watched the video. Shouldn't have watched it. It was terrible. But after he shot him 6 times, he kicked his lifeless body in the head and then ran away. So clearly this guy had issues. It just seems like senseless violence wasn't necessary at all. And now we lose someone who's doing great things in the city. So it's tragic. I feel like we lost, 2 great rappers lately, Nipsey Hussle, Mac Miller. I was like, who the hell's next? But we don't have to talk about this long, but it's just been a fortunate situation. I want to say, rest in peace. Nipsey Hussle, rest, to his family. We know you're all in our prayers, from Alternative Facts Chicago. If you never hear this, we still need to know that. And that, we're with you. And for all those healing, and we need to take something positive of this and keep his legacy on and know that, he worked hard for everybody. He wanted to help everyone, and he hustled, and he really grinded to be who he wanted to be, and he was a success from the ground up and did it the right way. So it's very inspiring, and I hope we can all learn something from this and hopefully all move on, but never forget the legacy of Nipsey Hussle.
Agreed.
Sounds good. Now, switching up, we got to get into, we're not even at everything Chicago yet, but I feel like we need to talk about a little bit of Chicago stuff, right?
Yeah.
Since this is crazy. We have a new mayor in the city of Chicago. I know it's been a long time coming. Mayor Rahm Emanuel, finally he's getting up out of here. And we actually have the very, very first woman black mayor in Chicago. Her name's Lori Lightfoot, which I didn't even know this, which I guess I should have done more research in the past. But were you aware that she's the first openly gay mayor in Chicago that we ever had? I'm not sure you're aware about that. Did you know about that?
Yes, that was literally like her platform.
Guess I didn't know. Shows what I know. For some reason, I swear I've never heard that be her platform. But I mean, I guess smart move. It worked to be open about it. And obviously with Chicago, being on the north side and the Boys Town area, just it's a big, heavy, a denomination of people there. I guess it was a smart business move to do so. It worked, but even outside of that, she did win the race. She won, pretty convincingly as well too. So, in your mind, what does this mean for the city of Chicago? Is this the right move? Where are we headed? Is this going to lead to some positive change in the city?
Well, I'm excited to have a woman mayor, to be completely honest. I'm excited that she's made history. I am. I definitely am. I mean, we knew it was going to be a woman regardless.
Right.
I wouldn't say that I actually did vote for Lori Lightfoot. I thought she was the right person for the job. And somebody who lives up near Boys Town, I can tell you that a lot of that neighborhood also was flying Lori Lightfoot flags. That was hard to say. And so I can definitely see why she had a ton of supporters, but I think really what it came down to is that she's as opposite as you can possibly be from Rahm Emanuel right now. And that's where the decision came from. I think it was more of a, obviously we know why some communities voted for her, and I'm fine with that. But I think it was just as opposite as we could possibly get. And if that's going to fix the city of Chicago is a mystery. I don't know if there's a fixing at this point, let alone by one person's mayoral term, or if she, runs again or whatever. But I definitely think it's a push in the right direction, and I'm excited to see fresh blood in there fighting for the city of Chicago in a new way.
Well, the positive is it can't get any worse.
There you go. Silver lining today.
I'm always thinking about the bigger picture here. So whatever works, if we can make things better in some way, shape, or form for Chicago, let's give it a shot. I mean, she said all the right things. She wants to help low-income areas, change the corruption of the city. But obviously, I feel like Rahm Emanuel said the same thing. I'm sure every mayor said the same thing, too. So now let's see what she puts to action, what changes she makes, what she does for actually those low-income areas. I mean, obviously being in downtown Chicago, north side of Chicago, South Loop, West Loop, everything's peaches and cream. The economy's thriving. How is she going to help uplift and improve the west side of Chicago, south side, northwest side of the city, some of the areas that have obviously been poverty-stricken? So that's what's going to make her a success. Hopefully she gets the support of the people, and not even the support of the people, the government. But obviously I'm rooting for her to succeed. Being black myself, having someone black in that seat is huge just for the community. Obviously Chicago has a huge, black denomination that lives in that city. So I think it's a good move. Like you said, it can't get any worse. Time to switch it up. I'm rooting for her, and let's hope the people back her. But I guess we'll see what happens. I'm sure there's going to be people that aren't on her side. They're going to give her problems, but I really hope that doesn't happen. We need positive change. Not that it's a bad city by any means. Chicago's a great city, but they can always improve with the corruption and the shootings. I think that can always improve for the city.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to some sports news. The 2019 Final Four is set. It was a crazy week in college basketball. Obviously, we have Michigan State making the Final Four after being the number 1 seed and overall favorite, I think, by everybody, Duke. I think they blew a ton of brackets with that one. We also have Virginia in the Final Four, the last number 1 seed standing in 2019. No surprise, Texas Tech is there. And the most unexpected team to still be dancing is Auburn. So what are your Final Four predictions?
First, did you actually watch the games last weekend?
I did watch the Duke game. I'm not going to lie. I did watch the Duke game.
That was a good game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a crazy freaking game. I was just like really sad to watch Zion Williamson like crying.
Why?
And I mean, because I don't care anyway, but like, that's like a sad moment. Like, I'll tell you, So there's this documentary that is on Netflix right now that you should check out if you like documentaries. It's called Losers. So like everybody talks about like the winning stories of sports, but you never talk about like the people that lost, right? And so I
Wow.
always just like feel bad for the people because like they worked really hard to get where they are too. Like Zion Williamson, not that he's gonna have a hard time, you know, in his career professionally or like going to the next level. Like, he's gonna be fine. We know that. But it's still sad because like Duke worked hard. Zion Williamson worked really hard. And it's like sometimes you just gotta feel sad for the people that lose because it's also on national television. So anyway, I was sad for him.
And did you know that I guess Trey Jones, I don't know if you saw at the end of the game, but the point guard for Duke, when they lost, was crying uncontrollably, like inconsolably. But I guess what happened, I'm not sure if you knew this, but I guess his mom had cancer and lives in Minneapolis. Obviously, he wanted to make the Final Four because he hasn't seen her in such a long time. So obviously that would have been a homecoming, being able to have her there for the Final Four. She had cancer too. So I was wondering, man, he's so young. Like, why is he crying like that just for losing the game? But obviously knowing what happened, it definitely makes sense. So seeing Duke lose, I mean, they have such a young team. When you have a young team, it only takes one time for them to lose. And unfortunately, you know, that's what happened. They still had a great season, nothing to be taken away. Obviously, they're going to have a new team next season as Zion's probably going pro. RJ Barrett's probably going pro. Cam Reddish is probably going pro. Trey Jones may or may not go pro, but they're going to have an entirely different team next season. But I'm going with, I love the run. Unfortunately, even though I'm a huge Michigan fan, I have to say this on air, but got to be a realist that I am liking the run that Michigan State's on right now. And even though they're playing Texas Tech has had a great season. I do think Michigan State matches up very well. Tom Izzo has done an amazing coaching job right now. He completely outcoached Mike Krzyzewski. You cannot deny that. He had them not knowing what to do. Cassius Winston for Michigan State is amazing. And I told a lot of people that he was a great player. If you're listening to this, you owe me an apology because people doubted him over the years, but he's been killing it. But he's had a great run. I think they're going to beat Texas Tech. And Auburn has had a great run too. They're a very fast team, but I don't see them beating Virginia. So I'm going Michigan State and Virginia in the national championship. And my prediction, got to do it. I think Tom Izzo and Michigan State will cut down the nets on Monday. Crazy I'm admitting this on air, but I think with the run they're on, I think it's going to happen. But what do you pick for the Final Four?
I have no idea.
I know. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. Like,
you couldn't give me anything. You couldn't give me anything.
You already knew. I mean, obviously, I don't think Auburn's going to win. Aside from their like 3-point shooting, they're not like a top contender. I mean, Michigan State is a great team, but I don't follow them enough. I would say Cassius Winston is a bomb player.
Yeah, he's dope.
I'd say he's maybe one of the top ones left in the Final Four right now. So that makes them a really, really strong contender. So I'm going to just go ahead and go Texas Tech since you said Michigan State. And
just to be different, right?
Happens. Yeah, I mean, I can't say the same thing as you. So yeah.
That's crazy. And you picked Marquette, so of course you have no idea who the hell's going to win.
Listen, I don't like college basketball. We know
it's
this.
so much better than the NBA, though. Like, I don't know how you don't like it.
Well, it's better than the NBA right now because the Bulls are terrible, but
just in general.
I don't like college basketball.
The games are more intense. Like that.
But I also don't like college
better.
football. Like, you know this about me. I don't condone how much weight we give children playing sports instead of going to school. End of story. Just how I feel. I don't know.
Oh, blah, blah, blah.
It doesn't matter to me what you think. You ask me. That's what I think. I don't care. After living in the South, I'm telling you, it changes. It changes you and like how you perceive things like that.
I guess we'll have to have an actual full discussion on that because it seems to tickle your heart a little bit.
It's corrupt. It's all corrupt.
We're going to have a full discussion on this because I want to know what your real thoughts are on that. Yeah. We'll save that topic for another day.
Okay, great.
Sounds good.
All right, should we move on to everything Chicago?
Let's do it. So, first one. All right, so we're going to talk about this here in quick hits too. But right after, and we're going to talk about it later, I got Ja Rule announces Fyre Festival 2.0.
What?
But an actual cool story that came up is Replay's Lincoln Park location is announcing a Fyre Festival pop-up bar, which I think is an absolutely crazy, but it's actually a pretty funny an amazing idea. So this pop-up bar is over Replay Lincoln Park. It's going to be on 2833 North Sheffield Avenue. It's going to pop up this spring as the 2-year anniversary of the debacle approaches. So when you go there to this pop-up bar, visitors can expect songs from Ja Rule, Major Lazer, and other mid to late 2000s artists. They're going to have a menu of tiki drinks, including Ja's Bahama Mama, pineapple upside down martini, and the frozen rum runner. And they're going to be served with authentic gourmet cheese sandwiches. Wow.
Oh,
that
yeah.
is disgusting. I probably wouldn't go there just because of the cheese sandwiches. So
You don't have to eat a cheese sandwich.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. So, so the pop-up is going to feature custom artwork, collectible T-shirts for sale, and activities including a weenies roast, s'mores night, and a treasure hunt. They'll also have a Blink 182 cover band. Kudos to whoever created this idea. That is genius. I bet you're going, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna check it out. It sounds really, really fun. Obviously commemorating the 2-year anniversary, and they're gonna have like palm trees, cabanas. They're actually supposed to have those relief tents, like the dome-shaped ones that went viral, that were supposed to be those cabanas that people slept in. So I think it's a great play. I think it's gonna be an awesome time, and they'll have a Spotify playlist playing all the performers that were supposed to play at Fyre Festival. So I think it'll be fun to check out. I love this idea. We saw they're also doing a Game of Thrones pop-up bar right now. A lot of places are doing that. We saw the St. Patrick's Day pop-ups. We saw a ton of Christmas pop-ups, but I feel like this is new and different. And I mean, awesome. Kudos to Replay. I think it's going to be a fun time.
I think it's a dope idea. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Yes, absolutely. So moving on to the next topic, if you're looking for a career change right now and you're crazy, the application period for joining the Chicago Police Department starts this Monday. So entry exams are going to be from May 31st to June 1st. And for the first time, Chicago is partnering with the city colleges to hold the exams at Malcolm X College as part of an effort to make the exam more accessible for people from all parts of the city. So if you've thought about being a police officer, making a career change, and for whatever reason you want to do it in an area of high crime, now is your chance to check it out.
I think this is one of the silliest things ever. Who in their right mind would ever want to be a police officer, not even just in the city of Chicago, but essentially anywhere in the country? I feel like police officers are the most least respected member of society right now, just from all the years of the corruption and the killings and just everything going on, and Donald Trump as president. I just think that anyone in that type of environment, in that type of role, you're just not going to get respected. I feel like people tense up when they see cops right now. Why would you ever, with just what's been going on, want to put your life on the line for what's been going on here in the United States? I'm not the person to say do or don't do something, but man, I would be shocked if they get even more than 100 applicants. It'll probably be way less than that. If it's more, I'll be shocked. But I don't think anyone's touching that right now. Would you?
No, I mean, I have never had any interest in my whole life in being a cop, let alone in today's climate. So I just think it's kind of funny. I just honestly think it's really funny, like with everything going on, that this made the news and they were like, hey, join the armed forces here in Chicago. Like, no, thank you. I will pass. But if anyone listening wants to check it out, by all means, I'll post the link for you on Facebook. Have fun.
I think you should do it. We'll probably get people laughing in disbelief that anyone would want to try out or even audition, whatever you want to call it, to be a police officer. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say like an unpopular, well, maybe it might be a popular opinion. I'm gonna say the thing that I probably shouldn't say, that like all the cops I've known in my life have been tools, minus like 1 or 2. So.
What? You said tools?
Tools, yeah.
Why?
Oh, yeah. It's like I'm sorry, but like the kids that I knew that wanted to be cops were like the kids that were bullied in high school and wanted to like have control over their lives.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like who dreams of being a cop that's just like always in harm's way, like telling people what to do all the time, like just looking for people doing things wrong. I mean, that's just like a sad life to live. Like protect and serve, you're just looking to catch people for like speeding tickets. I don't know. It's just like
for speeding tickets.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like why would you want to spend your life just watching for people doing bad things? Like that just seems like a really sad existence to me. Sorry if anybody's listening that's a cop and you can tell me I'm wrong, but that's
we might have lost some listeners from this rant just went on.
We didn't lose any listeners. That's just my outlook. You can prove me wrong. Hopefully you're not a tool if you're a cop, but
switching gears. Let's talk about our Chicago Cubs.
Oh, man.
But actually, we're really going to talk about the Chicago Cubs because they are not doing so hot right now. They got off to a good start, winning opening night. They looked great. Thought it was going to be a riding high in the season, coming off, almost making the playoffs last year. And obviously, it's very early, so fans do not hit the panic button. But Yu Darvish, obviously, he walked a career-high 7 batters in his debut. And then the other day, the Cubs blew leads of 4-0 and 8-5 on Sunday before losing 11-10 on a walk-off, not just a walk-off home run, but a walk-off wild pitch. So because of that, the Cubs are right now, as we stand, I'm sure they're playing tonight, but they are 1-3. There are articles going around like, are the Cubs in trouble? Are we just overreacting? I did read that we did return 23 of the 25 players from last season, that exact same team that fell apart at the end of the season and lost on the play-in game to the playoffs. So people are wondering, did the Chicago Cubs do enough to shake up their team, or did they just try out the exact same team as last year, hoping to make magic happen again? So I ask you, are we overreacting? Are the Cubs in trouble, or are they just bored because it's only the 5th game of the season?
So I'm going to talk about this more when we get to Clown of the Week. So I'm not going to give you everything at the moment. But I will say that if we're going to stand up for the Cubs, we're going to say that we have gotten rocky starts to the season pretty much almost every year, including the year we won the World Series. So we're kind of known for not being like the strongest starters. So the fact that we came out strong the first 3 games and then now we're going through this is whatever. But I think that's part of what it is. They didn't do enough in the offseason. I mean, they didn't do anything in the offseason. Clearly, I think the bullpen is just a mess right now. I think the offense is inconsistent, but I think it was just a couple bad games overall, and hopefully we'll be able to come back from this.
Oh, facts. I think people are overreacting. It's game 5 of the baseball season. I mean, basketball's still going on. We haven't even got to the hockey playoffs, NBA playoffs. I feel like no one cares about baseball until it's over. If the Cubs are still struggling come June, talk to us then. But right now, I think people need to chill out.
Agreed. Okay, moving on to some other news. So Verizon's 5G network has promised to come to Chicago later this April, and they debuted it early this week. It's the first to work with a mobile phone. Motorola's new mobile phone. It's supposed to be the fastest internet network of all time. Just absolutely transforming Chicago and all the startups that do business here and making internet and phone accessible for everybody here in the city, making big moves for Chicago. And we're excited. I don't have Verizon personally, but I think that this is going to like make other companies like step up and launch new technology and boost the 4G and 5G happening in the city.
Well, I dropped Verizon like 2 years ago because it was way too expensive. So I have no skin in the game. I don't care about Verizon. They can go to hell for all I care. I am team AT&T. My bill has not gone up since I've gotten it. I have service everywhere I go. So kudos to Verizon. But you know what's going to happen? AT&T is going to do the exact same thing. Right. And it'll be bigger and better in no time. But I guess many kudos to Verizon for trying to be ahead of the game on this one.
Yeah, they normally are. But kudos for them for starting it in Chicago, because I'll just be honest, like I was surprised, I guess because of all the tall buildings and everything going on and everybody just here. I was surprised at like how not great the cell phone reception is in the city versus like in the burbs.
You said how great it is or how not
great it is?
Oh, of course not. Just like you said, with all the buildings. But I never had issues with Verizon in terms of like cell coverage and being able to get phone calls. It was just so damn expensive. Like it was way too expensive to have their phone plan, which I guess I see why they're always ahead of the curve. But nah, bruh. I just need it for internet, to text,
No,
iMessage,
bro.
use the phone. I really don't even like being on my phone in terms of like actually phone calls because I talk on the phone at work a lot. So no, I don't need to be paying $150, $200 a month for cell phone coverage. I'll pass on that.
All right. Well, good to know.
Yes. Sorry, Verizon. I didn't mean to burst your bubble though.
All right, that's everything for Everything Chicago. Of course, that segment and this entire show is brought to you by Showtime's The Chi. The new season of The Chi premieres Sunday, April 7th at 10 p.m. only on Showtime. And we are offering Alternative Facts Chicago a chance to catch up on season 1 and watch season 2 with 30 days free of Showtime. All you got to do is go to showtime.com, register for your free trial, and use the promo code Alternative to let them know that you heard it here, and then you can enjoy The Chi every Sunday night with us.
You're gonna be watching? I can't wait. I know I am.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
You sign up for that free trial?
I already did, yes. I told you I'm already watching season 1. I gotta catch up.
It's a good show. I can't wait. So it's funny. We got it on Facebook. A lot of people have responded saying that they can't wait to watch. Season 1 was dope. Thank you for the code. So you still have time. I think the deadline you said is May 6th. So you do have plenty of time to sign up and join us. It's going to be a great season. I can't wait. I really hope it's as good as season 1. Sometimes second seasons can be a bit of a letdown, but I have faith that they're going to do it. They're going to rep for the city. So make sure you check out The Chi.
Yep. What about quick hits?
It's quick hits, Ja Rule. We talked about it earlier. Obviously, the pop-up bar here in Chicago, which is hilarious. But it was announced that Ja Rule is coming back. He's trying it again. He's doing Fyre Festival 2.0, this time with Dallas Mavericks owner. He's rich as ever, Mark Cuban. So, obviously, we know Mark Cuban has money. I don't think things are going to go by the wayside. But knowing what happened the first time, would you dare step foot in the plane, put your life on the line for Fyre Festival 2.0?
If I had the money, absolutely. Because I don't know if you ever watched Shark Tank, but like Mark Cuban does not like just invest his money. Like he's probably the hardest one to convince on that show. So it really has to be like, I'm sure everything has to be like tight knit for him to have his name on it. Like you already know nothing is going to go wrong. This is probably going to be more than your promise, where it's going to be the opposite of the last time. Like, you know, if he agreed to this, it's going to be like above and beyond, like the best thing ever. Like you're saying it's going to be a 4-star experience. It's going to be a 7-star experience. Like it's going to be legit. And if I had the money, I would be there.
You know what? You're probably right. You honestly, you almost sold me on this. Because at first I was like, absolutely, positively not. I would never step foot there. But you know what? You're probably right. And what if Ja Rule went on Shark Tank and presented this, and Mark Cuban bought it? Maybe that's how this came about.
Oh my God, that would have been freaking awesome.
What if it happened and it might be on a future episode that we don't know about? Never know.
I doubt it. Ja Rule just called him up and was like, yo, I want to go back to Fyre Festival and party.
That's hilarious. But hey, kudos. You know what? People are going to go. They're going to give it another shot because people like turmoil. People like being a part of something that's insane. And if something goes wrong again, they could be a part of history. So I won't be that person. Let someone else be the guinea pig. But you know what? Kudos to Ja Rule for giving it another shot.
Who knows? Maybe this time they'll get grilled cheese sandwiches.
I hope so.
All right, moving on to another topic. Uncle Luke is bringing back a FreakNik to Atlanta in a family-friendly form. So if you're not familiar, FreakNik was the citywide block party that stalled the city of Atlanta back in '93, and now he's bringing it back summer, specifically June 22nd, with in Atlanta at Solaris Amphitheater. It's going to be a one-day event. He's already shared on Twitter that he's going to have family-friendly people there, like Project Pat, Foxy Brown, Bun B, Twista, Lil Scrappy, and more. This is like forever, 20 years after FreakNik. And of course, we haven't really heard of Uncle Luke for a minute. Do you think that this is going to be successful?
You know what? I think it will. And I hope people go into the mindset that it's definitely not going to be how it was when naked girls run up and down the strip. Just crazy, people dancing, alcohol, drinking all over the place. It's going to be more of like a regular, normal one-day festival, which is going to be all ages. And obviously they'll have, rappers there, too as well. But no, if you think it's going to be the same impact of what it used to be, it's not going to be. And I don't even want it to be like that. I feel like if you try to recreate something that had the magic in the past and you try to make it to be something what it's not now, I don't think it's going to work. Totally different time frame. The Me Too era, Me Too movement, it's just not going to be allowed. Spring break's over. I think that time's like right now for college kids. So I don't think they need to recreate that magic. But kudos to Uncle Luke for giving it another shot and making it, quote unquote, family-friendly format. But I'm sure it'll still the crowd to be more 25 and up, especially with the list of artists that they have named.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how this is going to do in Atlanta, to be completely honest. I'm not sure if he's going to attract the right crowd for this. We'll see.
That makes
We'll have
sense.
to see what happens. Like Atlanta's definitely got festivals, but I wouldn't say that this is like a normal festival crowd.
Right.
It's going to be like people that attended in the 90s or like wish that they had attended and then maybe want to be able to like share the experience now, like with their significant other, now that they're like a little older or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not, I don't really see the point in even calling it FreakNik because it's not gonna be the same. So I just feel like, why are we even like pretending? But I don't know. We'll have to see how it does in Atlanta because I don't know if that's like really the right demographic for a FreakNik block party that's family friendly. I don't know how he's going to sell this, but we'll have to see what happens.
Well, I think what the artists that they're going to have, obviously having like the Brat, Project Pat, I forgot some names that are on Foxy Brown. Yeah, they're going to try to attract that older crowd that might have been young back during those days, but in their 40s now. So I think that's who it's definitely going to attract. It's not going to attract kids or anything like that, but to get the 18 to 21, 20, 22 crazy, they could give a crap less about the Brad Foxy Brown in 2019. That's not happening.
But then at the same time, are those the people that are spending money to go to festivals? Like, I just don't. Like, are those the people that want to be outside all day in the Atlanta heat at a music festival? That's my only question.
I feel you. We'll have to wait and see.
I guess so.
Jennifer Lopez, wow, this is crazy. She's being sued for $6.5 million from a man that says he came up with the idea for World of Dance back in 2009, but never saw the show, never came to light. Can you really copyright the idea to a show like this or what?
No, this is the most ridiculous lawsuit I've ever heard. So apparently this guy came up with World of Dance in 2009. He pitched it to some reality show dance producer at the time. And now Jennifer Lopez has made the show and he's suing Jennifer Lopez. And she's never heard of this guy, met this guy, maybe heard about the topic from somebody else in conversation. And that's where she came up with it. But I mean, come on, it's a dance show. Like, that's like saying like, oh, you should copyright The Voice. Like, they're all just reality competition shows and they're all the same in one way or another. This guy is a loser. I hope he loses.
Yeah, he's probably broke trying to get some money like quick, fast, and easy. Not gonna work. If he wanted to really have this copyrighted, he should have actually got a patent and copyrighted it, so that way he would have had the ownership of the name. But no, I think this is a silly story. He's trying to get paid, obviously take money from someone who has money. So no, this guy almost got clown of the week for this, but absolutely not. It's not gonna work. So, but nice try though. I'll give him an A for effort.
I guess it's like his one last chance. He's like, "Oh, I came up with reality TV first." Like, go sit down.
Yeah, get out of here, bro.
All right, we alluded to this a little bit earlier when we were talking about April Fool's Day, but April Fool's jokes we know are all over social media. We talked about how people announcing that they are pregnant on April Fool's Day, and everybody's like, okay, you're lying. Somebody that fans actually believed was Justin Bieber. He posted online a picture of his wife, Hailey Baldwin, and it was an interesting picture. I don't know if you saw it, but doctors were actually around her. It looked like she was having an actual what's the word? Ultrasound? Thank you. Ultrasound for a baby. And he said that they were pregnant. Fans freaked out and congratulated them. And then he came back and said that it was April Fool's. And now everybody is freaking out. He's getting backlash saying that that was insensitive and he shouldn't have tricked his fans that way, when normal people post this kind of stuff all the time. So was this foul or fair? Is the internet too sensitive? What are your thoughts?
I think the internet is too insensitive about any and everything. And the only reason people care is because Justin Bieber, Bieberville, whatever his fan base is called, they take everything so seriously. They like worship the ground he walks on that they can't believe he would play a joke on them. So I feel like it's April Fool's. All jokes are fair jokes on April Fool's Day. Like if they want to say you're fake pregnant or that you're fake married or fake engaged or whatever you want to do, just don't believe it because it's April Fool's. So the fact that you fell for it, the joke's on you, very insensitive. I thought it was a good joke, Justin. So no harm, no foul for me.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciated how far he went to do the joke. Like, posted on Instagram, got a doctor involved, found a machine. Like, he was like, "Oh, babe, we're gonna really trick the world." But I mean, I'm just like, how can you get mad at him for doing it and not mad at your cousin for doing it? Like, it's the same thing. Chill out. Cousin. Yeah.
It's creative. It's creative.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that creative because people have been using this April Fool's Day joke like since Facebook was invented. But
since it was invented, it's funny.
Yeah. I saw this. I've literally seen that joke every single year. Like, come on.
Switching to basketball, getting back in little Nipsey Hussle. So Russ Westbrook last night had an amazing game in a win for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But what he did, which is crazy to do, he got, I think it was like 20 points, 20 assists or 21 assists, 20 rebounds, basically getting 60 total points. And he, at the end of the game, had an interview, and he said he dedicated that entire game to Nipsey Hussle. Russ Westbrook is from the Los Angeles area, and basically said it was in tribute to Nipsey Hussle, because obviously Nipsey Hussle was in the Crips, and their name for that area is called like Rolling 60s or something like that. So the fact that he was able to get 20, 20, and 20 is a tribute to him. How amazing is that? Like, how can one person in an actual NBA game plan and actually execute getting that certain amount of points, assists, and rebounds in a game? I don't think I've ever seen it before.
Yeah, that's literally insane. I don't even know. I don't even know how it's real. Like, I probably wouldn't believe it happened if I hadn't seen it. So it's crazy. He was on fire. He had an amazing game. And if that's what inspired him, then man, power to him, because it's a great way to pay tribute to Nipsey Hussle in this situation.
Yeah, he's had a great season. But for him to do that and be able to control an aspect of the game to get the exact points, assists, and rebounds, that's just amazing work. Good stuff.
It's wild. And lastly, Wrestlemania is this Sunday. Did you know that? Did you know that, Frank?
Oh, can't wait.
I'm so excited. I have a calendar reminder in my phone. I'm set up. Nobody call me. Wrestlemania is this Sunday. Don't bother me. Are you also going to be watching?
I only put this in here because we have a lot of people that listen from Twitter that loves wrestling. So I got to talk about this. But, hey, it's like Christmas Day for me. I love wrestling. I love WrestleMania. It's going to be probably about a solid, between the pre-show through the actual event, a solid 7 or 8 hours. And if you think I'm lying, text me from like 3 or 4 o'clock on Sunday and text me later about 11 o'clock. And I might tell you that it's still on. I'm dead serious. So for all those who will be watching, it's the first ever main event of women wrestlers, Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, in all 35 WrestleManias. It has never happened that a women's match for the title is actually headlining, which is actually a cool moment. So for you, who's all about women power, you should be proud of this moment because it's never actually happened before. They're gonna close out the show. So it's actually in New York, actually in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. It's actually
Wait, did you say it's in New York or it's in New Jersey?
The problem is, the crazy part, they're advertising it in New York, but really MetLife Stadium is where the New York Mets play. It's actually in New Jersey. So the crazy part of the day, all their advertisements saying it's in New York. I'm like, it's only April. It could be cold, but I did hear that this weekend is going to be like mid-60s in New York. So for an outdoor event, I think the weather will be fine. But also,
WrestleMania is outdoors?
Yeah, because obviously it's going to be like 80,000 people there. So it's either in an indoor stadium or an outdoor stadium. The dope part about it is that WrestleMania next year is going to be here in Tampa. Can't wait. I will be there. It's going to be at Raymond James at the football stadium. So usually it's at an outdoor event. Normally it's at a warm climate. So why they went to New York in April, I have absolutely no idea. But you may be surprised. There's usually anywhere between 60 to 90 to 100+ thousand people that go to these events. So for all you that make fun of wrestling, just know it's $1 billion industry. So, But I'll be watching. I can't wait.
Ha.
It's going to be a fun night.
Well, Raymond James Stadium is a dope stadium. Have you been there yet?
No, I can't wait. But what I hear...
This is all I have to add to the conversation. That I've been there and I like
football
the stadium,
games, I guess, obviously, I know August, September is so hot here in Florida that I heard it's brutal to go to a game, but I'll still check it out.
We went actually to a game 2 years ago for Christmas. The Bears came down and played in Tampa, and my family went. That was like our big Christmas present, and we were like wearing shorts, and it was hot, and it's outdoor stadium, and I got a little sunburned sitting up there. So yeah. It's an awesome stadium. It's super fun.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Clown of the week time or what?
Let's do it.
Man, this is an easy one. I'll go first on this, but Ghost, I always call him Ghost from Power. If you haven't seen the clip, you've definitely been living under a rock. But this past week at the 2019 NAACP Image Awards, it was funny because I was actually watching a clip of this when it happened. Before this clip went viral, I caught it. And I was like, man, what the hell? Did I see something weird? But anyway, if you have not seen it, Ghost from Power, which is I'm always going to call him because that's what I know him as. Obviously, he set it up to Jay-Z, dapped him up, even took a picture. The next, obviously, doing courtesy, saw Beyonce, gave her a hug, a kiss on the cheek, gave her a hug. And that's cool. Sometimes, like, people do that to acknowledge him. The second part, though, that's just crazy about it is he went in for a kiss again, and it looked like you couldn't really completely tell, but I know what my eyes saw. He kissed her on the lips. And I don't know why, but you are the clown of the year for that. Like, why? Maybe you made a mistake, or you thought it was a cheek, or you just went too far, or things were happening too fast, or maybe you were just so shocked that it was Beyonce. You got to see her, hug her in the flesh, that he shot his shot. He went for his moment. He thought this was going to be the only time he ever got to do this, and he went for the kiss. So maybe that's what he did. And if you shot your shot, I guess I get it, but the optics look terrible. You don't do that in front of another man's wife. And I'm assuming Jay-Z didn't see it because I feel like he probably would have felt the way. He had no reaction, so he probably wasn't looking. The optics look terrible. And, boy, he got slammed. He had a bad day. The Bayhive. You do not mess with the Bayhive. And they destroyed him on social media. So I'll go light on you today. You're getting the clown of the week because I'm sure you felt enough pressure in the past. But I always say that don't kiss other people's wives, even if it's nice on the cheek. Just stay away. Give them a nice pat hug and keep it moving.
That's something you always say. You've had to tell people that before. Don't kiss other people's wives.
I mean, come on. Like, not even on the cheek, though. It's like, if you see them, give them a hug. Yeah, just like in the courtesy on the cheek. Like, how some people do that when they greet people.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it's just a little too gray area. Stay away from it. And in that case, it backfired on him.
I was going to say, like, I feel like that seems like obvious advice.
You would think, but obviously he didn't listen to that, so.
Obviously. Okay, so my clown of the week goes to the Chicago Cubs, specifically for the 8-0 shutout that they received against the Atlanta Braves just a few days ago, because if I even have to mention it, like, the Atlanta Braves are not that good. But we already talked about earlier that there's a lot of things going on with the Cubs right now, and if it's still early, it's not really of concern for me at the moment. Obviously, the bullpen is a mess. The offense is consistent, and they're not the best team in the division anymore. We could go on and on. But for an 8-0 shutout against the Atlanta Braves is what makes you my clown of the week. It was like watching a team with no sense of urgency at the start of a season when there should be a sense of urgency. I mean, we were making throws instead of eating the ball. It was just trying to do way too much, and every single infielder made an error. Mike Zagunis out there, terrible night on defense, just getting doubled off second base. What kind of message does this show anybody, period, that he was out there? A AAA player was starting in place of Schwarber. Like, it's just literally the saddest thing ever. Only time's going to tell if this is like foreshadowing of a terrible season or if it's just the first couple games. But this was horrible. And even Joe Madden himself said that they attempted to make plays that they should not have. And that, quote, mentally, it was a bad April 1st day. Yeah, it was an April Fool's joke is what it was. It was horrible. It was just embarrassing. And y'all are my clown of the week. I don't know who you guys were that day, but it was just very sad, and I'm sad for you.
So the Braves are actually going to be decent this year, but there is no excuse for losing 8-0 horrible start to the season. And I feel like they didn't make enough changes in the offseason to where they rolled out the same team. And I don't know. We'll see. It's still early. I'm not hitting the penny, but I think they'll be fine. They have a very good roster, but they should have made some changes, and we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not to say the Braves are the worst team in the league, but they're definitely not a team that should be shutting anybody out, let alone the Cubs 8-0. Like, we're always about the same playing field as the Braves. Like, they're pretty good every single year. I'm not going to say they're winning anything big, but it was just sad. It was just a sad game.
Season's early, so don't panic. But I'm with you. They should get the clown of the week for that.
Yeah.
A good episode. 84 is done. On our way to 100. We're going to do something big for our 100th episode. We'll figure it out when the time comes. And it sounds like it's so far away, but shoot, before we know it, it's probably be here, I think sometime this summer.
Yeah.
I think we'll hit episode 100. So that is coming very soon. So thank you to Showtime for sponsoring our show. Thank you for all the listeners for help getting us there and help getting another sponsor. We were always looking for more, so you can always email us at alternativefactchicago@gmail.com. That's all I got. What else you got?
Nothing. That's it. Thanks. It was fun.
Yep. So we appreciate you. We'll be back next week with episode 85. So this has been B.Hun
and Cait.
Alternative Fact Chicago. We are out. We'll be back next week.
Bye.
Peace.